Spy was directed by Peter Siegel and stars Dave Bautista, Chloe Coleman, and Ken Jeong, and is about JJ, a hardened CIA spy who, after a mission goes wrong, is forced to survey the wife of a drug dealer. But when the 9-year-old finds out that he's a spy, he must teach her how to become a spy, or she'll spoil his secret to the whole entire world. Guys, this film was great. This was on my number 9 for my anticipated list, but I was a bit nervous about this film. Sure, I was excited for it, but I was a bit scared that there's 2 problems I was afraid I'd have with this movie. Number 1, the trailer spoiled everything, and number 2, there was no good villain. Or no villain at all, even. But I did enjoy. The trailers did not spoil anything about this movie, and that's what really excites me, is that it worked so well because it didn't spoil literally anything. Nothing was spoiled about this movie, and that was really good aspect for me. And then we had the villain, and this film did have a proper villain, but I actually didn't care much for the villain, honestly, and that's a real big disappointment, because I was afraid this movie would have a villain, but it might as well not have a villain, because everything with the villain was a bad aspect. But I will get to that, because I always talk about the good first. So, before we get started, go down in the comments section and tell me, what did you like about this movie? Thank you. What did you hate about this movie? Tell me your thoughts on My Spy. And with that said, I'm going to get started talking about the good. I really did enjoy the funniness. This movie was hilarious. Lots of LOL moments. And I had a bunch of my friends here, so that was just great too, because we just had a blast. Anyways, I thought the trailers would have spoiled all of the jokes, but they didn't. They didn't spoil any of the jokes at all. And even the jokes that they did have, some of them weren't even in the movie. And I really appreciate that. I know a lot of you don't like it when things aren't in the movie, but if you already see something on the trailers and you don't have that in the movie, but you technically have the same joke, but you portrayed it in a different way, guys, that just really works, and that's what this movie did. The best jokes I can't repeat, number 1, because of spoilers, number 2, because this is not a kid-friendly movie. There are a bunch of bad things in this movie that you would be like, if you were a parent, wait, does my kid need to see this? Like, it's a family movie, really. Like, there's a bunch of things for adults, there's a bunch of things for kids. And I laughed at the adult and kid things. This movie was really funny. Another thing I really did like the cast. Dave Bautista and Chloe Coleman, in the first 15 minutes, they just seemed to be like a disappointment to me. Like, they didn't seem to find their footing in the role. But 15 minutes later, after the start of the movie, they found their footing in the role. As soon as they meet each other, you know you can't get a better duo than this in this kind of movie. You have Dave Bautista and Chloe Coleman, and I've never seen anything with Chloe Coleman in, so that might be a problem, how I didn't know who she was, but she was great. She was being a sarcastic little turd to Dave Bautista, and Dave Bautista, just the soft-spoken spy. It was incredible. Their dynamic is extraordinary in this movie. You could not have picked a better duo to do this. And the plot was pretty good. It's something you've seen before, and that's not a problem. Who cares if it's something you've seen before? I don't. I mean, I enjoy these kind of movies. Guy doesn't like kids. Kid comes, figures out what he does for a living. They must do some action movie. And most of them don't have villains, but I told you I'd get into the villains, so I'm getting into the villain right now. So those are all the things I liked about the movie, and one of the biggest disappointments about this movie is the villain. This movie was good, and it seemed to set up a good villain, but when you get into the end and the climax, it just doesn't work at all, and that's really disappointing. I was really looking for a great climax to a great movie, but it just doesn't work. And I'll tell you why. Fact number 1, it was storming out. My movie kept glitching. And so, it's on Amazon Prime, and I don't have that great much internet to begin with. But anyways, and then fact number 2, it just seemed like not even over the top. It just was boring to me. The action wasn't great. It was just normal spy action, and I really was looking forward to this action, but I just didn't think it connected with me. And then I don't even know why I include these on my reviews anymore. Is almost every single one is the first 15 minutes or first 30 minutes are horrible. This one was the same. This movie could not find its footing at all. And it was really disappointing for me. Because I leaned over to my friend and I was like, is this gonna be a bad movie? But it wasn't, and it really worked. So as soon as it finds its footing in trying to be a spy movie, it really works. And as soon as when it's not a spy movie, when it's trying to be so many different things, like a spy movie, a kids movie, and above all else, they tried to even have heist sequences in it, and it just didn't work. But once they moved past that, it worked. So what I'm going to give this movie is a tomato 8.0. You should definitely check this out, and of course, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. What did you think about this movie? Did you love it, or did you hate it? I loved it. This movie was great, and I will probably watch it again very soon. Of course, make sure to always subscribe to join the Nerd Army. Thank you!